On the 30th of October 2015, Professor Lesego Daniel received summons from the CRL Commission that he should appear before them on the 3rd of November 2015. This is what resulted to the postponement, as Professor Lesego Daniel was given only one working day to compile all the paperwork, and that is impossible. Professor Lesego Daniel did not delay the proceedings, but he was not given enough time. Professor Lesego Daniel appeared before the Commission on the 3rd of November 2015 and asked for an extension. Later that day, there was a press conference. This is part of the highlights of what took place. Let us listen to Togum Kwanazikaluva informing the media that the SACC has laid a formal complaint against Lesego Daniel and Rabboni Centre Ministries.
Let me start right at the beginning. Prof will add as and when. You're saying, how did the Commission get it wrong from the SACC? We never got it wrong. They have a complaint. And the complainant is here. The people they are complaining about is here. And all that happened was that since we were working with them on the issue of commercialization of religion, we then extended the issue of commercialization of religion to include the issue of exploitation of people's belief systems. What then happened, I don't know what happened within the SACC, for the SACC to then say they never complained about anybody under the sun. It's their internal matter. We've given them proof that yes, the complaint that we received from the Human Rights Commission, and yes, proof that we wrote to you saying we are investigating the matter that you sent to the Human Rights Commission through that referral system. So we've got proof beyond reasonable doubt that we wrote to them. We've also got proof that there's a complaint, and it's on the letterhead of the SACC, and it's with us, and we're investigating it. That's why Pastor Lesego is here. And we've got a letter from the SACC confirming. And what we then did was to say, if it's these two pastors, Pastor Daniels and Pastor Mnguni, that they're complaining about because they were on television, we're extending it to look at what is happening. This country is a big country. You can't be chasing after 111. You need to have an investigative study where you then say who's doing what where, so that you arrest the system and not chasing after individuals. Hence, we broadened it. And we then said, if there are other people doing it, we'll see what is happening. Then we went for a random sample and we identified that. So we never got it wrong. We got it right. They got it wrong. And maybe you can ask them how initially they said there was no complaint and later they said, yes, there was a complaint. And if you need the paperwork, we can give you the paperwork proving beyond reasonable doubt. We did not articulate the complaint of the Rabboni. The Rabboni, they have the complaint. It is about what was on television. The SACC complained about eating of grass, specifically around Pastor Daniels. It was eating of grass, it was petrol drinking, it was the leaves, it was what you saw on television. Actually, you should know better as the media. And I think Rabboni Ministries should also know what happened. So the pastor has the paperwork, and we've agreed that we're giving him time to go look at the paperwork and then come back and defend himself in whatever context, whether it's religion or whatever. So the pastor has all the information.
One may ask, what is really happening here? Because according to Sowetan, dated 5 November 2015, I quote, the SACC also objected to being cited as the complainant in summons served on church leaders.
We've also got proof that there's a complaint, and it's on the letterhead of the SACC, and it's with us and we're investigating it. That's why Pastor Lesego is here. And we've got a letter from the SACC confirming. And what we then did was to say, if it's these two pastors, Pastor Daniels and Pastor Mnguni, that they're complaining about because they were on television, we're extending it to look at what is happening. This country is a big country. You can't be chasing after 111. You need to have an investigative study where you then say who's doing what where, so that you arrest the system.
Bana ba Modimo. Bana ba Modimo. Bana ba Modimo. Our case is postponed to the 16th, which is 2 weeks after now on Monday. But what they said, because you hear on TV tonight, but what they said when we were together the first meeting, yes, they said they have an evidence from the media, not from the complainant. So that's what they say. I'm speaking the truth because now they said, we even have the recordings. Where they spoke, they said they've got the evidence from the media. So we cannot trust media. There are people who must investigate and come with tangible proof. The papers of the church, we do have them because we account to SARS as well. We'll bring everything, they will have everything. But now, this country cannot depend on the evidence based on newspapers or media. It shows that there's no justice. We cannot depend on media, we depend on the truth. God propels the universe by his mighty word of power, and South Africa is included. South Africa must be controlled by the word of God, not by men. So this is the truth that I am telling you, and I can account to it because we have recorded it. The truth is, postponement came because confusion came from them as well. Bana ba Modimo. Mata ke Modimo. Mata ke Modimo. Did anyone die when they eat grass? Did anyone die when they drink petrol? Those who drink or eat, they never lay a charge or complain. But those who did not and were never there, they are complaining. But to God be the glory.